Folks, based on recent reporting, there's been a backlash over TikTok and X users turning audio tied to Charlie Kirk's assassination into entertainment-style content. Now, TPUSA has condemned it as dehumanizing, and TikTok has said known videos and audio violated its policies and were being removed. So, what happens when political violence becomes content? What happens when a real tragedy gets turned into a trend, a sound effect, a transition video, or a joke for likes? This is not just a social media problem. It is a cultural warning sign. Because in a constitutional republic, we can disagree, we can debate, we can protest, we can criticize politicians, activists, media figures, parties, movements, and ideologies. But when Americans start laughing at violence against people they disagree with, basically assassinations, we are no longer just arguing over politics. We are testing whether liberty still has a moral foundation. Welcome back to Go Right with myself, Peter Boykin. I am your constitutionalist for liberty. This is my perspective. And this is where we look beyond the headlines, beyond the outrage, and beyond the algorithm to ask the bigger question. And if you got here, thanks for listening. Now, what does all this mean for our constitutional republic? You can find more of my work on GoRightNews.com, PeterBoykin.com, and GoRightMusic.com. You can also donate at Cash App, the $ GoRightNews. If the website's down, I'm either updating it or I haven't paid the bill yet, but it'll be back up. And don't forget to check out GoRightMusic.com as well, where the message of liberty, faith, freedom, and American resolve continues through sounds, lyrics, and movements. Now let's go right into it. There's a trend online that should disturb anyone with a conscience. Reports say audio tied to the assassination of Charlie Kirk was being used in viral TikTok-style videos, including outfit transitions and entertainment content. Turning Point USA condemned it, calling it grotesque and dehumanizing. And TikTok reportedly said known videos and audio violated its policies against violent material and were being removed. Now, this is not about pretending every offensive post should become a federal case. This is not about giving government unlimited power to police speech. But the First Amendment, folks, remember, protects political speech. It protects unpopular speech. It protects offensive speech. And it protects speech that makes people angry, uncomfortable, and even disgusted. But that is one of the reasons America is different. But here is where constitutional awareness matters. Just because speech may be protected from government punishment does not mean that speech is morally healthy, culturally wise, or good for the survival of free society. A constitutional republic requires more than what's rights are written on paper. It requires citizens with enough moral discipline to know the difference between disagreement and dehumanization. It requires people who understand that your political opponent is still a human being. It requires a culture that can argue fiercely without celebrating death. That is the line we are watching disappear. And this is bigger than Charlie Kirk. God rest his soul. This is bigger than one side, one party, one app, one influencer, or one ugly trend. We have seen political violence become entertainment. We have seen assassination jokes become applause lines. We have seen mobs excuse violence when the target is someone they already hate. And that poison does not stay on one side. Once political violence becomes acceptable against your enemy, eventually everyone else decides you are the enemy. And that is why constitutional principles matter. Free speech matters. Due process matters. Equal protection matters. The right to assemble matters. The right to speak unpopular truths matters. But none of those rights can survive in a culture where people stop seeing each other as citizens and start seeing each other as targets. Now, nationally, this matters because America is already walking through a dangerous season of political hostility. Every time public figures are threatened, attacked, mocked after violence, are treated like enemies of the state, the temperature rises. Statewide, every governor, legislative, school board, college campus, and law enforcement agency should be asking, how do we protect speech while also refusing to normalize intimidation and political violence? Now, I'm here in North Carolina, and this does matter extremely here. We have school board meetings, we have county commissioner meetings, we have town halls, college campuses, protests, rallies, and political events. We just had a big one for a rally for our teachers to get better pay. They had to shut down the schools because of it. We had right-wing people and left-wing people attend those rallies because of that subject, and it's important. We have conservatives, we have liberals, we have independents, we have Christians, we have LGBT and Q citizens, we have gun owners, we have parents, students, activists, and everyday working people just trying to be heard. And if we want North Carolina and other places in the nation to remain a place where citizens can speak freely, then we have to reject political violence before it reaches our own front porch. That means we defend the right to speak. We defend the right to disagree, and we defend peaceful political activism. But we also say loudly and clearly that mocking assassination, celebrating harm, and turning tragedy into entertainment is not courage. It is decay. Overall, here's my go-right perspective. The First Amendment protects us from government censorship, but it does not protect a nation from losing its soul. That part is on us. America does not need speech police. America needs civic courage. America needs citizens who can say, I disagree with you, but I do not want you dead. America needs parents teaching children that politics is not a blood sport. America needs platforms that stop rewarding cruelty with reach. America needs leaders who stop winking at violence when it benefits their side. And America needs a people willing to remember that liberty without responsibility eventually becomes chaos. This is not about left versus right. This is about whether we still believe in ordered liberty. Because if we cannot condemn political violence when it happens to someone we dislike, then we do not believe in principle. We believe only in power. And that is exactly what the Constitution was designed to restrain. So the question is simple. Are we protecting free speech, or are we normalizing political violence? Are we building a constitutional republic, or are we feeding a culture that laughs while it burns? I'm Peter Boykin, your Constitutionalist for Liberty. You can find more, an article on GoRightNews.com and PeterBoykin.com, and you can check out our music, the message, and the movement at GoRightMusic.com. I urge you to speak freely, stand boldly, reject political violence, and as always, do right, be right, think right, vote right, go right. Peace, everybody. God bless.